All right, welcome back to the newest episode of the Weekly Pulse. Joe and I are here with Dylan Richter. He is opening up the new spot in town across from the movie theater called The Sweet Spot, correct?
That's right. Appreciate you guys having me.
And I'm curious, I just was checking out everything that you have going on in Hillsboro, and I'm excited to see what this new candy shop is all about. So we're going to get in and drill you with a bunch of questions today because anytime there's something new in town, people get, they make up a lot of stories a lot of times. So
it.
So if we can just ask you the actual questions, give everybody the real answers to all the scoop that's going on, will be awesome.
His building is not Aldi's. That's not where Aldi's is going, by the way.
Aldi's is coming somewhere. Coming soon.
Pretty small Aldi's.
And apparently it's Aldi. There's no S on Aldi's.
Thank you for correcting me.
A big conversation about that sometime last week. I went down the Facebook rabbit hole. Shame on me for that one.
Well, at least you didn't reply, so you're good.
Yeah. So anyways, The Sweet Spot, like I said, opening up across from Tooligans, the movie theater. I see the neon sign glowing at night, which looks
Eat
pretty
more
sweet.
candy.
Yes, we're direct with it, you know.
Governor Pulse, I'm going to promote him today in eating candy.
No kidding. Conflict here.
No
Or
conflict.
maybe it's good for
It's
you.
all moderation.
Yeah, everybody's got to have candy. We all like it. I have candy. So, Dylan, tell us a little bit, just kind of give me a background about where you're from. And this is a new venture for you guys. Is this you and your wife?
Yeah, and I have a partner named Ryan Kirby who's helping open this one and potentially future ones, but we'll see where it goes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, give me a little background on who you are, what you did before this,
For sure.
and where you're from.
Yeah, so backstory, I'm from the northwest suburbs of Chicago, a place called Lincolnshire. I met my wife in school in St. Louis. She is from Hillsboro, Illinois. So we were living in Chicago for 7-8 years. She's a scientist. She's the brains of the family, 10 times smarter than myself. I was working for DoorDash for about 9 years. I joined when they were relatively small and just about to open up in Chicago. And the company grew quite a bit, so it was a fantastic ride. I learned a lot. I had a lot of fun. I didn't operate a small business, but I was working pretty closely with a lot of restaurants, and as we ventured into different categories, other types of small businesses. So I had some exposure and experience working with that type of business. And in 2020, right after COVID started, we unfortunately got the news that her dad was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. So that is what brought us back to her hometown of Hillsboro to help out with him and the situation and spend some time there. So was not part of the plan necessarily to come back, but it was, a very easy decision and very glad we did it. So moved back. I continued to work. This is, peak COVID, so everybody's working from home and working remotely. So it was an easy time to make a move like that. Moved back, kept working for a couple years, and it wasn't, understandably the most fun experience. It was very difficult. So through that, kind of came to the conclusion that it's time to do something else. I've always wanted to start something. And we got a lot of support from the community out there when we were going through all this. So we thought it would be fun if we could figure out something to give back, and open up a shop, give them something. Smaller towns don't necessarily have loads of stuff. Hillsboro's about half the size of Highland population wise. So there's great people there. There's some great businesses. We have a lot of fun out there, but we thought if we could come up with something that we were excited about and passionate about and could offset some of the darker days, something a little bit more fun and joyous and happy, then that would be a fun thing to go try. So the idea for the candy store came about, and I'm kind of a psycho. So I was still working at DoorDash at the time, nights and weekends, I'd put together the little business plan. And the more I looked into it, the more viable it seemed for a smaller town. Not everything can necessarily work when you only have a population of 4,000 or 5,000 people. And then I thought we both thought it would be a lot of fun. We have 3 drawers of candy in our kitchen. So we're the people who go on vacations and take the chocolate tour, and we go to the candy shop and do all that kind of stuff when we're traveling or when we're home. So no, it was kind of let's give this thing a shot. Let's see how it goes. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work, and like I'll go get a real job again. Best case scenario is it works decently well, and we can see if there's a path to growing it. So I think we'll see what happens. It's super early days. We got a lot to figure out still. But the format is one in which I thought there's a small chance that like if it can work in Hillsboro, it could work in a lot of small towns, and I want to validate that before doing anything crazy. But I think in the future, like who knows what could happen with it. We have a lot of fun. We're of course very biased operating this place, but watching little kids, grandparents, whoever walk in there and see, we have a pretty expansive selection of suites. So watching people walk in there and like, you know, their eyes go wide every time and they have a good time. It's a lot of fun. So
is your favorite movie Willy Wonka? It's got to be
definitely up there.
Okay.
Oh yeah. That was an inspiration. We've stolen a couple
That's why I'm
ideas.
here for the tough questions.
Yes. I have a Willy Wonka t-shirt.
Okay.
So
All right.
the wardrobe has morphed a little bit. I have a lot of candy themed stuff, which my wife doesn't, she's not too excited
Maybe
about
have a little
that.
bit of that music when people come with me, you know, all that.
Oh, yeah.
When people walk in.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, I need to rewatch Willy Wonka.
Oh, come on, Jeff.
Classic.
It's been a while. My kids aren't quite old enough. They'll
Get there.
Yeah.
Eventually,
You'll
it'll
be wonked out when it's all over with.
Yeah.
So, when did you open the one in Hillsboro?
July 2023. So it's been a little over a year that we've been operating that one. And yeah, it's been a blast. I mean, we have a lot of fun with it. Again, there's always things that we can do better, do differently, but we have all like the basic candy that you can think of, but then we get a lot of international stuff, nostalgic stuff, all the old school candy. That's probably my favorite. And then we don't make anything ourselves. We're not talented like that. Maybe someday, but if we made anything, it would not look or taste nearly as good as the stuff we have. But then we'll have cheesecake from Hank's. I don't know. We're not too far away from Bobby's custard. We have caramel apples and custard from Bobby. So we try to incorporate where possible some more local institutions that make things and that people love and make them a little more accessible, so you don't have to necessarily drive as far to get it. Some of those things may not be as far of a hike for folks in Highland versus Hillsboro. So we'll see if there's new stuff that kind of we discover and bring out here. But
So I got a question. Jeff was showing me some of your pictures. They look fantastic of your store in Hillsboro.
Appreciate it.
Where do you guys come up with like having such a excuse me, the aesthetics of your building?
yeah, you know what? It was one of those things where we have no experience in retail. We have plenty of experience as a customer, and we wanted to try to pursue a design and an aesthetic that people walk in and are just like, oh wow, like I'm surprised this is here. I would not have expected something that looks this nice and this put together to be here. So there's plenty of things that like we could be doing better, of course, and like there's different decisions that we would make now knowing what we know, but we try to like have an old school feel to it, nostalgic feel. A lot of the fixtures in there we get made, as opposed to I have found it incredibly difficult to just find nice high quality retail fixtures and shelving and whatnot. So we make a lot of it, and then yeah, we want the place to be welcoming and fun and more of an experience. So like that's another angle that going into this we thought was really important. You can get candy most places. You can walk in any gas station, go to Walmart, grocery store, buy everything online, but this might be a vestige of COVID and not being able to go anywhere and do much for a long time. One of the things we wanted to bring to Hillsboro and we hope to bring to Highland too is something that is a little bit more experiential. You can walk in there, we'll have music, it'll smell a certain way, you'll see all the candy, it'll look a certain way, and it's just like a fun place to go and spend a little time looking around and hanging out. So
And how about your location? Right off the square, we got Highland has a lot of events, a lot of kids up there.
Yeah.
I can just see them, coming across the corner and hitting your shop. I think the location's awesome.
we got super lucky with that. So the criteria, this is not scientific or anything. I wanted to be like 30 minutes to an hour away from Hillsboro for number 2. The biggest draw was we have some friends who are from here who now live in Hillsboro, and my wife's aunt who works with us in Hillsboro, her son lives here. So we've had a couple people in our ear about how great Highland was. I admittedly had not spent a ton of time anywhere really outside of Hillsboro prior to looking into this, but then very short list of towns. A lot of people saying Highland is awesome. Came and spent a little time walking around, and it's beautiful. It's like there's so many cool things, and then in a smaller place, there's only so many retail options. So to find something that can kind of fit both aesthetically and just like the square footage that we would need, we got really lucky with the space right on the square there.
Well, I would say when you said you want to give the experience and a little bit of the wow factor, that's exactly what I got just by looking at your website.
I appreciate it.
Like when I went on there, I was like, I had no idea what the sweet spot was or what it's going to be. And my initial thought is like, is this just another like thrift shop type thing?
Right.
Kind of throw it together. And to me, it's legit. Like
it doesn't have a hobby feel at all to it.
It's got a, I would have guessed you were in business for longer than a year. Like
agreed.
To me, it looks really, really good. So I'm actually now really like a lot more excited about the whole concept and idea of like, it is an experience. I could see how it could definitely, like you said, you can buy candy anywhere. So it's a lot more than just buying a piece of candy that you like. It's the whole thing.
Exactly. So we got a little work to do. We still got a little ways to go to get it ready. We'll probably put some, those like curtain things, the temporary curtains in the windows, so we can get it all ready to go and have a grand reveal.
Which is when?
Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So there's a Christmas parade, as I understand it, which seems
awesome. How about
awesome.
this guy?
Perfect.
I've been learning. I'm like half terrified and half super excited to open that day, but
you're going to be packed that night. That's awesome.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. So couple months.
Now, if you haven't experienced the Christmas parade, it's a pretty big deal. I'm sure you've obviously heard. So what a perfect day to give it a open.
Yeah, no, we're excited about that.
So what are just for the people that are watching, give us a couple items that you've seen that maybe aren't of the normal that people can come into your shop and buy that are good sellers.
So our number one most popular thing, it's not a specific item, but if you've ever been to like the pick and mix, you can like make your own bag, scoop it in, mix all different stuff and sell it by weight. That's our most popular by like a landslide. I think I got to remember how many. We'll have like 88 to 100 bins in the shop for that. So that'll be like, you can go get chocolate pecans or gummy bears, or there's a wild world of candy that we're still getting used to that will be available there. So you'll see some stuff in there that you don't typically see. My like biased favorite thing that we get a lot of traction on, a lot of international candy. So whether that's international chocolates, Japanese candy, they have a lot of different flavors and textures that are not normal here. So some people think it's like mochi candy, for example. Some people think that's disgusting. It's like rice flour, kind of soft. I love it. When kids come in and ask me what my favorite thing is, I'll tell them that, and I'll open a bag and give them one. And sometimes they spit it out. Sometimes they go and get every flavor we have. So the international stuff is probably like the other big, surprisingly popular category.
I would have never guessed that international candy was a thing or like a big hit or something that people sought after to experience.
What about the wax bottles like when we were kids?
Nickel Nips, old school.
You got them?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, all right.
100%.
Here we go.
I'm trying to think.
Jeff says gross.
Valamilk. I'm trying to think of the other more popular. Chunky Bars, Chuckles.
You're buying in your audience right now. All these people are going to sit at home and go, I remember that when I was a kid. I'm going in to get them.
Oh, no. Candy cigarettes. I mean, I'll call them candy
They're a little
sticks.
different.
Yes.
I was going to say.
We go through many cartons.
Still got to call them candy cigarettes. Roll them up in your sleeve.
Yeah.
People, I don't know if you even do that anymore. Vape pen doesn't really roll in your sleeve very well.
Well, this will probably be for the 40 and up crowd.
Sure.
Anybody younger than 40 probably has no idea what a candy cigarette is.
That's right.
That's funny. It's been 20 years since I've seen a pack of those.
I'm going to walk in there and probably not leave for 30 minutes, just look browsing. And that's what you're hoping for probably.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. That's always fun.
No, that is cool. Do you guys I seen that you guys are, one of your missions is giving back. So tell me a little bit about what you guys like to do for giving back.
Yeah. So like the thought process behind this is you open a shop in I keep using this word, smaller town. Highland's quite a bit bigger than Hillsboro, but regardless, if you're opening a shop in a smaller area, not a huge city, like you really have to serve that community and be a part of it. And if you don't win that immediate community over, like you have no chance. So we thought going into it, if it was, regardless of how successful or not the store was, we'd love to have a component where we invest back into the community for the support and help they showed us. So we announced this after our 1 year anniversary, and we'll start it immediately in Highland. We don't have to wait a year for this, but we call it the Sweet Scholars Fund. We put 1% of the sales back into a fund that we then invest into the schools and students in the community. So that particular avenue, education, like we think that's very important. There's a lot of great causes out there. I'm sure you guys have experienced this. If you run into business, there's a lot of things you can support. At times it can get overwhelming. So we wanted to kind of channel the efforts into one thing. So the way we think about that is supplies, sponsorships, and scholarships. So we will likely have a scholarship after we've been in operation for a little bit for a high school student. We'll sponsor some programs. We can't do everything. We'll do as many as we can. And then for the younger kids, supplies, incentives, like whatever the students, and we'll get to know the teachers and staff over time, but whatever would be the most helpful, valuable thing we could provide, that's what we'll put the money towards. So I think that part's like selfishly one of my favorite things about the store and what we get to do. And then as we learn more, we'll figure out how to dole that money out. And every quarter we'll kind of announce what the money goes to and how much more is in the fund and things like that. So
awesome. Good cause.
That is awesome. I work with, a lot of teachers come to the gym and stuff. So right. I know they're always looking for support on certain things. So right. That'll, you'll never run short of places to send that. That's
yeah, sure. Jeff even likes everyone to bring in their Halloween candy so he can give it to the teachers, and
that's
right. It helps them out.
Yeah.
So.
But I'll just throw that stuff away now.
Keep doing it.
Go buy it at the sweet spot now.
So Jeff's a business owner. I'm a business owner. You're a business owner. You're starting a business. Are you guys going to have anything, because you have a unique setup, and I'm already thinking like I have clients and for what I do for a living, like, are you going to have anything set up where as a business owner, I could come in and purchase gifts for clients or anything like that?
100%. We do quite a bit of gifting type things. So my mother-in-law, she makes most of our candy bouquets, candy kebabs, candy cakes, things like that, all obviously on theme. But we will have a gifting component of it. And then in the actual store, we'll have some gift boxes and I'm trying to just 12 compartment plastic tackle box. You can put a bunch of different candy in. We'll have, a bunch of chocolates and truffles and things there. So if you're looking for something that's more giftable, we'll definitely have stuff that fits.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this all sounds fantastic. Is there anything else that you guys do like special events or anything? Like I've seen, like a lot of times at weddings and stuff now, right. There's candy tables right. and all that stuff. Is that something you guys have gotten into yet?
At some point, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
We'd love to do like a candy sampling class, like a private set up tables in the shop, things like that. I think we will get to those at some point. I think the focus for the first 3-6 months is just going to be on making sure it's operating smooth and we kind of get our bearings with the new shop. But then we'll definitely look into layering on more offerings like that.
Awesome. Well, Joe, do you have any other questions?
I do have one more. You just opened a year? You said a year and a half ago or so. So that's seems like pretty quick.
Yeah.
The proof of concept must have been there already for you guys to go ahead and say, hey, we're gonna repeat this process.
Yeah, part of this is ingrained. So I joined this company before doing this, DoorDash, and the whole we're trying to grow it and expand and grew relatively fast. So I think I have a little bit of the don't want to grow too fast. I think what fast growth brings at times is a difficult balance of work and life and wanted to maintain more control over what you're doing. So you could argue, it's a little bit fast, but we've now gotten, after the first 6 months and bringing my wife's aunt over to Hillsboro, like we've now gotten it to the point where it can operate pretty smoothly. Not to say we're not trying new things and investing more and always trying to make it better, but it got to the point where we could run that operation pretty smooth. So I figured if the right opportunity comes up, if the right location and in town was available, then let's go for it.
Awesome.
And I don't think we'll look to go to number 3 for a little while.
Okay.
I think we'll want to make sure that this is going well. And there's a lot to learn. It's a different experience starting a business in a town that is not where you are from and everyone knows you. So I could argue in Hillsboro, I was the new guy there when we first moved back, but my wife and her family, they've lived there for generations, small town, everybody knows everybody else. There was a lot of people who were going to come support regardless of how good or bad the shop was. If it was bad, they wouldn't come back, but they were going to come support that. That doesn't necessarily translate when you go into a new town. So I think there's going to be a whole different set of things to learn and figure out and try to do here.
Yeah, well, Dylan Richter. So most people would assume you're from Highland, so you could probably just say I am from Highland.
There's some Richters around here.
Got some Richters
family
around
members.
here. So just leave it at that. I'm from Highland. I'm a Richter.
That's right. That's right.
And it'll probably go over just fine.
Yeah, for sure. I think you're gonna. I've been in Highland a long time, and I know exactly what you're talking about. It bringing a business to a town that you're not from. I think you've got the right concept. I think you got the right attitude. I think you guys are going to do great.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm a lot more excited now talking to you and seeing everything online. It's a perfect fit for the Square, I think. So it's just going to make that whole downtown area just brings a whole nother element to really capping that area off in town, and which it's grown so much over the last 3 or 4 years. So.
Yeah,
I'm hoping so.
But yeah, Dylan, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thank you
Excited
guys
to see
very
it.
much.
great.
That was a lot
Best
of fun.
luck.